During the Chargers' Week 15 matchup against the Raiders, announcers compared Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert to Dolphins legend Dan Marino, who is considered one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Herbert threw for 381 yards and 2 touchdowns in the Chargers' 30-24 victory. Justin Herbert, drafted in the first round 6th overall by the Chargers in 2020. His rookie season, Herbert went 6-9 in 15 games started, finishing that season with a 66.6% completion rate, 31 touchdowns and 10 interceptions, also having 55 rushes for 5 touchdowns and 234 yards, 8 fumbles, 332.8 fantasy points total. Dan Marino, drafted in the first round 27th overall by the Miami Dolphins in the 1983 NFL Draft. During his rookie season, Marino appeared in 11 games, starting in just 9 and going 7-2 in his starts. Marino finished his rookie season with a 58.4% completion rate, 20 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions, adding 28 rushing attempts for 28 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 5 fumbles, 167.9 fantasy points total. So as rookies, Dan Marino had more wins, but are wins a quarterback stat? I don't think so. Again, as rookies, Herbert had 595 attempts and an 8.2% better completion rate than Marino, who had 299 less attempts. Herbert also threw 11 more touchdowns and yes, 4 more picks, but again, almost 300 more attempts than Marino. A notable 206 rushing yards and 3 rushing touchdowns more than Marino as well, on only 27 more attempts. Through 3 seasons, Herbert has started in 49 games, with 25 wins and 24 losses, averaging a 66.9% completion rate and a 3-year combined total of 14,089 passing yards, 94 touchdowns, and 35 interceptions, and a 96.2 quarterback rating. On the ground, Herbert through 3 years has gone for 683 yards on 172 attempts, with 8 touchdowns and 17 fumbles. Total fantasy points through 3 seasons, 992.9. Marino's first 3 seasons, he had 43 games and 33 wins, completing 61% of his passes for 11,431 yards, 98 touchdowns, and 44 interceptions, with a 96.4 quarterback rating. A total of 82 rushing attempts for 14 yards and 2 touchdowns. Total fantasy points through 3 seasons, 754.7. Through both men's third season, Herbert has 6 more games played and 1,966 more pass attempts. That being said, Justin's completion rate is still 5.9% better than Dan Marino's 61% on 1,427 attempts. Herbert also has 2,658 more passing yards, 9 less interceptions, and he can run the ball. Herbert edges out Marino here as well with 669 rushing yards and 6 touchdowns more, and still 3 less fumbles on 90 more attempts. A total of 238.2 fantasy points difference through 3 seasons, giving the edge to Justin Herbert.